Thursday, May 2. A truly wealthy wife. Question. The book of Proverbs closes with praise for a wife of noble character. Identify the characteristics and qualities that are lauded in Proverbs chapter 31, verses 10 to 31. Who can find a virtuous wife? For her worth is far above rubies. The heart of a husband safely trusts her, so he will have no lack of gain. She does him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeks wool and flax and willingly works with her hands. She is like the merchant ships. She brings her food from afar. She also rises while it is yet night and provides food for her household and a portion for her maidservants. She considers a field and buys it. From her profits she plants a vineyard. She girds herself with strength and strengthens her arms. She perceives that her merchandise is good, and her lamp does not go out by night. She stretches out her hand to the distaff, and her hand holds the spindle. She extends her hand to the poor. Yes, she reaches out her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of snow for her household, for all her household is clothed with scarlet. She makes tapestry for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. Her husband is known in the gates when he sits among the elders of the land. She makes fine linen garments and sells them, and supplies sashes for the merchants. Strength and honour are her clothing. She shall rejoice in time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and on her tongue is the law of kindness. She watches over the ways of her household, and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many daughters have done well, but you excel them all. Charm is deceitful, and beauty is passing, but a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her of the fruits of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. The woman described is special, and so is the poetry. Each of the verses, starting from Proverbs 31 verse 10, begins with one of the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. One senses from this tribute to a worthy wife that even the whole national alphabet barely provides a sufficient framework to extol her properly. Proverbs' emphasis on marrying a good partner is reflected in a dictum of the rabbis. A man's home is his wife. A wife of noble character is her husband's crown, it says in Proverbs 12 verse 4, but a disgraceful wife is like decay in his bones. Here, at the end of the Proverbs, rolled idealistically into a portrait of one, are many varied skills: clothing manufacture, buying real estate, agriculture, home and financial management. Meanwhile, she cares well for her family. They love her and praise her. These extensive talents are not to be expected in every woman, nor are they a blueprint whereby husbands should measure their wives. Rather, through describing these capabilities and qualities, Proverbs conveys what is most important and universally relevant for women as well as for men, the traits of trustworthiness, compassion, reliability, faithfulness, kindness, and industry. The secret of such a life, according to Proverbs 31 verse 30, is that she fears the Lord. In verse 10 we read the word for virtuous, or of noble character, and it means strength, might, or wealth. It is translated as riches in Psalm 62:10, and describes Joshua's men of valour in Joshua 1:14. Boaz commends Ruth with the word virtuous in Ruth 3 verse 11. In Proverbs 31:10 there is a play on the concept of wealth. True wealth lies in character, integrity, and the fear of the Lord. Let's read that again. Chapter 31 and verse 10. Who can find a virtuous wife? for her worth is far above rubies. This vastly exceeds the worth to be found in precious stones. So, to finish today, who are some of the women of valour and virtue who have influenced your life? How would you expand the list of character qualities, virtues, and capacities of godly women? You have been listening to a reading of the Adult Sabbath School Bible Study Guide by Dr. Percy Harold from Queensland, Australia. This service is brought to you by Hope Channel, the Sabbath School Department, and Christian Services for the Blind. Remember, God is always faithful.